So what are we going to do today? Well, today I think we're going to go ahead and replace the upper and lower A-arm bearings. So what I ended up having to do was take a 2x4, come right back here, wedge it in, and just pound the old one out. And just basically punched it right out. This one I just twisted, you'll see in the C-clamp setup, and it came right out with no problem. I sprayed a little WD-40 in there before, and everything was fine. So let's get started, shall we? These are the new bearings, these are the new bearings that we'll be installing. This is the niche. So just get in there. If you want, spray a little WD-40 around there. You'll notice that the new ones come in like that, so they're a little bit easier to work with. Take the bottom one, take the top one, take the bottom one and top one, and set it up like that. Okay. And yes, I did freeze them just to see if it helps it. Okay, now we're getting started. And pressed, starts going in. Okay. Just making sure you keep an eye on your gap and everything. Readjust if need be, if everything seems like it's starting to go out of whack. And you can see that it's starting to really seat now. So all you have to do is just back off, rearrange. The biggest thing is don't damage the boot. Best way to know that if you got a problem is if your C-clamp starts twisting and doing something really strange. Like right now it's still normal, but if you see it, the screw going in one way and starts bending and warping, you know you've got a problem. Okay. Everything looks fine. No problems. Check underneath, make sure that you can get your C-clip on, or check underneath, make sure that the clip can get up there. We'll do that in a second. Now the top one. See how it's set up? Got it? Alright. Okay. Basically, do the same thing. Start pulling it in. Boom. You hear the pop. And it starts going. And it went right in like no problem. Okay? So, make sure that you've got your lip around for your lock. Make sure your lock is in there. Spins if it wants to. But your biggest thing is to make sure that it is in there 100% seated. Okay. Another thing you can do is come over here to the tabs and just kind of spin them around a little bit to see if they are locked in. Sometimes they'll give you a false snap. And then now we do the bottom one. but you want to make sure that your snap ring is seated in there. Your snap ring is seated in there. And you want to make sure that you are flush here and you are flush here. Okay? Now, these will press down. That's why you want them kind of the way they were when we were installing them, so that when they are fully, when these are out like they were, it's easier to get the socket on it. Okay? If you got any questions, comments, or anything, feel free to ask. Let me know. Alright. It's Trav, and you have a great day. Take care of each other. Okay. Now that you're completely done, okay, and you're ready for your knuckle, that's completely done. You kind of might be questioning whether or not these boots will come down. Well, if you notice, the boots will kind of come down. They'll fight with you a little bit. Just press them down and you're fine. When you go to install it, you want those boots as fully extended as you can, so that the socket that you're using can go over it without, see how it is now? Well, kind of can't. But see how it's kind of fighting with it? And then you have a chance of tearing up the boot. If you go ahead and have it where it's up and extended, it's a lot easier to work with and less chances of tearing up your boot.